It's all right, okay? I love preaching in Burma because I don't think they have neckties. Do they have neckties in Burma, in Myanmar?
Yeah.
Do they? Okay. You don't see them very often. It's so hot, you don't wear them over there. Every time I go over there and preach, I don't take a necktie one with me. I just wear a sport jacket and an open shirt. 106 degrees last time I was over there. Hot. Woke up one morning and I thought it was fog. And he said, that's not fog, that's humidity. I couldn't even see across the street. It was so hot. And so they shut all the doors, no air conditioning, turn on some fans. All the windows were shut just because of fear a little bit. And preaching 106 degrees, you know, but thank God for no neckties. I could breathe and all that. But in America, you know, I know people, if you don't have a necktie on, man, wow, you're not Christian. You know what? It's okay not to wear a necktie. I wear one just because they look okay in America. They respect, but you don't have to. You know, to be saved is not part of your salvation. Now, if the school here says you got to wear a necktie, then you got to wear a necktie. It's part of their rules, right? But I think we'll go to heaven if I've got my pajamas on when the rapture happens. I don't have to have a necktie on. Celebrating Christmas on December 25th is a tradition. Actually, Jesus was probably born the last part of September or early October. Yeah, we missed it when you look out when the sheep were out in their fields. But it really has nothing to do with December 25th. And you can go way back and all that. Oh man, I could tell you so many stories about people that are so mixed up about their traditions. I had a family in Burma that didn't come to my church, but they were strictly against giving away presents in their home on Christmas, but yet they would go and rent a hotel room and give presents to each other in the hotel room because that wasn't their home. It was okay. I mean, just crazy stuff. You know people, they can make anything out of anything. So you just got to step back and understand that traditions are, this is the definition of a tradition, because what the Jews did, they turned the Purim from a tradition into traditionalism. And they came up with laws, Old Testament laws, that were not in the Scriptures. They began to write things that the traditions became traditionalism. You couldn't do things, you couldn't say things, and so on. The Sadducees and the Pharisees, whatever they said, they were the controllers. They made it equal to the written law of God. Today, in the Catholic Church, whatever the Pope says is just as important as the written Word of God. And so you see, these man-made traditions can become so dangerous. Let me give you definitions of traditions and traditionalism. Traditions is an inherited, established, or customary pattern of thoughts or actions. It's just inherited. They're passed down. They're customary patterns of thoughts and actions. Nothing wrong with those. Traditionalism is the doctrines of those thoughts or patterns. The belief of those who oppose modernism. Okay, so patriotism is a wonderful thing. It is a tradition in America to put a flag up in our yard or in the school hallways or whatever it is. You know, they're taking them out now. I guess a place in Michigan is now trying to put it back in that the kids in Michigan have to say the Pledge of Allegiance before school every day. That's the way I was raised. I don't know how many of you were, but I was raised every morning, got to say the Pledge of Allegiance, hold my hand over my heart. Didn't know what indivisible meant, you know, but I put it now. And just said it like a good little kid. But patriotism is a wonderful, wonderful thing. But we got to be so careful. Just because somebody doesn't have a flag in their yard or doesn't take their hat off, you know, when we're saying the Pledge of Allegiance, it doesn't make them unsafe. They just choose not to do it. You got to be careful, right? Got to be careful. So that's just something to think about. Traditions, celebrations. It's all about respect, not about salvation. And so whatever you do with the Halloween, trick-or-treat, and the Christmas trees, and the neckties, that is up to you. That's up to what you've been taught, and so forth. But the Purim became more than just a day of celebration. pretty soon, if they didn't partake, even today, if the Jews don't do this Purim, then they're not considered saved. They're not really Jews unless they take part of this Purim, something that happened thousands of years ago. It became a traditionalism and became a doctrine. So be very careful, right? Okay, you're dismissed for